If your KX250F is slipping, dragging, or just feels sluggish off the bottom end, your clutch is probably cooked. So in this video, I'm gonna be walking you through a complete clutch rebuild on a 2005 KX250F, and we're dropping in this full Hinson clutch while we're at it. This is everything: plates, basket, hub, springs, the whole thing, step by step. If you've never rebuilt your clutch before, this video is for you. Let's get into it. So first things first, before we start anything, we've got these brand new Hinson clutch plates to install. What we need to do is soak them in oil for about 20 to 30 minutes before we install them into the bike. Do this at the very beginning, so by the time they're ready to be installed, they'll be ready to go. And you wanna make sure that both sides of the fiber plates are completely covered in oil. And then you can go ahead, start and warm up the bike for about 2 to 3 minutes here. And this is gonna help heat up that oil in the engine, ensuring that we can get it completely drained in the next step. Once the oil is drained, go ahead and lean the bike over like you see here, and remove the rear brake pivot bolt to get that rear brake out of the way of the clutch cover. Now you can go ahead and get that clutch cover removed, removing the bolts in a crisscross pattern. Making note that the two longer bolts are at the top spots. And then we'll do the same thing with these clutch spring bolts here, removing them in a crisscross pattern. And then you can go ahead and remove this OEM pressure plate. All right, then we got this push rod holder assembly here. Take note, there is a little ball bearing inside that we'll need to take out. If you got a magnet, that works great. And you can remove that push rod. And then you can get in there and remove all the friction and steel plates. And if you got a little pick or something, it'll kind of help with that right side to be able to pop all those up. Next up is removing this clutch hub nut, and we actually need a special tool, which is simply a clutch holding tool. This Tusk one is $18. I grabbed this brand new Motion Pro clutch holding tool. This thing is $183. So in another video, I'm gonna do a comparison of which one I like better. But really all it is you're hooking on to the splines of this inner clutch hub here, clamping down on that. I've got it kind of positioned against the frame and the foot peg here, which will help me hold the tool in place while I blast this off. The $18 Tusk one works pretty dang good. Okay, then we can remove a bunch of stuff here. We've got the washer, the inner clutch hub, and sometimes the thrust washer on the back gets stuck to that inner clutch hub. So just make sure you grab that thrust washer on the back as well. And then you've got the OEM basket itself. All right, so if you're in here replacing just the clutch plates and fibers and you're not gonna be replacing the basket and the inner hub, you wanna inspect the basket anyhow for wear, especially on the fingers. You can kind of see here where there's marks from the fiber plates. All you need to do is run your finger along the edge of the fingers and see if there's any notching in there. And if there's any notching, you're probably gonna wanna get that basket replaced. You can kind of get your fingernail on there too. This basket still seems pretty smooth, even though there are marks. I would say, no, I feel a little bit of notching in there. Man, it's probably 90% good. And you wanna do the same thing on the splines of the inner hub as well. You can see the marks are from the steels. You can just run your finger along there. This inner hub is actually still pretty good. But for this video, we will be installing the complete Hinson set, so we don't have to worry about that whatsoever. Technically, if you were just replacing the plates and fibers in the clutch and not putting the Hinson basket in, you could leave your OEM basket in and your inner hub, and that's when you go ahead and put the fibers and steel plates back in and reassemble. We'll get to that part later, but this Hinson clutch, billet aerospace aluminum, hard acodized for better wear. This is way more dense of a material than the OEM cast aluminum here. You're gonna get way more hours of use and harder use out of the Hinson clutch compared to that of the OEM. And these things are manufactured with extreme tolerances, and they just work and rotate much smoother inside your clutch and engine than the OEM unit. But before we do anything, it's not as simple as just placing the basket back inside the bike. What we need to do off of this OEM basket, we need to remove this large primary drive gear as well as this Kickstarter gear. That is a whole process that we're gonna go through right now, and we're gonna get that installed onto the Hinson basket. Flipping the basket over, this backing plate here is riveted on. What we need to do is center punch each of these rivets and drill them out. Then we'll be able to use a screwdriver and pop this backing plate right off. All right, and just like that, the first hardest thing is done. Okay, with that retainer plate off, there's a little bevel washer here that you will not use with the new Hinson basket, so you can just toss that to the side. Now we can go ahead and just pop up that primary drive gear, the screwdriver as well. Now obviously you will not be reusing the stock basket because the rivets have been drilled out, and we'll be using the Hinson basket. Next thing we need to do is get this Kickstarter gear pressed out of the stock basket. I have this press from Harbor Freight. If not, you're gonna have to use a torch and a ton of heat to heat this Kickstarter gear up and this basket up, and a socket the right size of that Kickstarter gear, and a mallet to really punch that thing out. But since we have the press, it makes the job much easier. I've got a size 29 socket here, and I'm just gonna use the press to help press this out. So this thing is still blazing hot, but notice that there is a washer here, and you will need to reuse this washer between the Kickstarter gear and the Hinson basket. But next it's time to get everything cleaned up of all these metal shavings here, the primary drive gear as well as the Kickstarter gear. The Hinson basket does have new cushions, which is great. So now we got to get that Kickstarter gear into the basket here. What I did was drop that Kickstarter gear into the freezer for about 15 minutes or so. We need to remove the backing plate off the Hinson basket here and remove the cushions. And in the meantime, I got my mini toaster oven warming up so I can throw this Hinson basket in there, and then that'll go in there for about 10 minutes. Next up, you basically just run and grab the basket from the oven, throw it on the bench, run inside, grab the Kickstarter gear, and if everything worked correctly, that Kickstarter gear will just drop right into the Hinson basket. And then before making the next step, we're just gonna let this thing cool down completely. And we're back. Here's that washer there that goes between the basket and the Kickstarter gear here. Just wanted to give you guys a look to see what that looks like. Let's move on to the next steps. There are some itty bitty tiny set screws there and there on the basket to secure that Kickstarter gear in place. The directions recommend red Loctite 272. I'll leave some link in my description below. This is the high temp stuff. And you will need a little itty bitty Allen wrench to get those screws out. Dropped a little bit right there into the screw hole itself, and then we'll just get that thing screwed back in there. Please do not over tighten this. Just make sure it seats against that Kickstarter gear. Nothing crazy. Gonna wipe up the excess Loctite. And just go ahead and repeat that process for the other side. So next step in the process is getting these cushions installed back on the basket, along with the primary drive gear and retainer plate. Lubing up these cushions with some engine oil or WD-40 will help get this primary drive gear back onto the basket. So I'm just gonna do it on the outside of each of the cushions. Be careful not to get the WD-40 or the oil into the threads here, because we'll be using red Loctite later to secure those in. Next up is getting this primary drive gear installed. Now you can oil up the rings too here. Okay, now there is a recessed side to this primary drive gear, and the back side of the primary drive gear protrudes or extends out. The side that extends out is gonna go down to the basket. The recessed side is gonna go up, and we're just gonna get that lined up in there and get it pushed on. A little bit of a process to get that on there, but you wanna make sure there's no gap between the primary drive gear and the basket. And then just to be safe here, we're gonna use a little bit of contact cleaner to spray out the threads. Again, this will just help the red Loctite stick a little bit better in case we got any oil inside those threads. All right, then the final step here is getting this retainer plate installed back on the basket. Line up the holes, and again, we're gonna use the red Loctite 272 on the threads of these screws. So you can't be too liberal with the Loctite. You want complete coverage of the whole thread and screw, so I'd even put some into the screw hole as well. Go through, get them all installed, and we're gonna torque these down to 3.3 foot-pounds, or 39.6 inch-pounds that equates to. And I'm just gonna go through and tighten them in a crisscross pattern. And then when you're done, use a little bit of contact cleaner, get the screws cleaned up, and then you can flip the basket over. You see how the Loctite went through. Just get those cleaned up on the inside as well. And then the last fun thing to do, want to grab your punch again, and you're gonna peen the screw holes on the inside of the basket, one on each side, and then this will help secure those screws in the basket even more. There you go, you can see all the screw holes peened on there now, one on each side. All right, moving back over to the bike, it is now time to get everything back installed. When I took everything apart, I did not take this needle bearing off or the sleeve here. So if you did, not to worry. When you install the sleeve back onto the bike, just make sure the flat part here is towards the inside of the bike, sitting up against the bearing. You're gonna wanna make sure everything is oiled up and lubed, ready to go. And then get the basket installed onto the gears. So right now that basket did not sit all the way down onto the gears. What you can do is grab a screwdriver or a pick like this and kind of help rotate that gear here. There you go. All right, next up is the thrush washer. Remember, the sharp edge side is gonna install to the basket, or the rounded edge side is going to be installed up. Next up, we got the inner hub here, but before we go ahead and install the inner hub, take a look and flip it over. There's actually a little tiny dot timing mark on the back of the inner hub, as well as the top of the pressure plate here. There you go, you can kind of see it there. And this doesn't apply to an OEM basket. I'm just gonna mark on this side here how that pressure plate should be installed, and then those should line up there. So we'll get that inner hub installed on the splines. And then next up, we've got the splined washer, and then we've got the nut to torque down. Now, if you look closely at this nut, there are three kind of mushroom spots on it where the top two threads on this nut are kind of crimped down, kind of making it like a lock washer in itself. A lot of other models have washers that you can crimp over to help lock this nut in place, or like the KX250 two-stroke models have punch marks that you can actually punch on the nut and not on the actual threads of the shaft. So what we're gonna do is do some red Loctite 271. Now this is not the 272 stuff that we used earlier. 271, it's still high strength, but not as high temperature. You can just take some contact cleaner and we're gonna clean off those threads there. So it helps make that red Loctite stick a little bit better. Make sure the threads are completely dry before applying the red Loctite, and then we'll get the nut on. And you can feel when you tighten that nut down by hand, when it gets those top two threads, you can feel it locking on there. So again, this red Loctite is just gonna offer that extra insurance. So to get the nut torqued down here with the clutch holding tool, I chose the Motion Pro one. I did a comparison between the $183 Motion Pro clutch holding tool compared to the $18 Tusk clutch holding tool. You can go back and watch that video if you want the complete breakdown, but I'm choosing to go with the Motion Pro one because the fingers here are machined a little bit larger to fit into the grooves of the clutch hub better, where the fingers on the Tusk one are a little bit more sharper, and I don't want the Tusk one to damage the splines here of the inner hub. So I actually damaged the stock one just a little bit with that Tusk one. You can kind of see right there on the inner clutch hub where that Tusk tool left a little mark, and there's like a little groove here. I can feel it. You might not be able to see it with the camera. Yeah, right there. But to each their own on what you choose to do. Going forward, I will be using this Motion Pro one, which is less prone to damage that inner hub. All right, and I've got the clutch holding tool positioned on the bottom here of the foot peg, so I can use the foot peg and frame as some leverage and to hold the tool. I put a rag right here so I don't damage the nice anodized handle, and then get it torqued down to 72 foot-pounds. Next up, we've got the Hinson clutch plates, the fibers and steels that we've been soaking in the oil. Then you'll notice that the Hinson fibers, some of these fingers here have a half moon shape while others are flat. I'm gonna start by installing the half moon shaped facing up, and we're gonna install the rest of them in that same exact orientation. So you want all the half moons to match up, and you want all the flat ends to match up. Now with the steel plates, there's a sharp edge and a more rounded edge. You want to make sure the sharp edge is facing out when you get that installed. So your hands are going to be a little bit oily from touching those fiber plates. So I just like to oil them up just a little bit. And then a fiber, installing it with the half moon shape in the same exact spot as the other one. Steel with the sharp edge facing out. Fiber, half moon in the same spot, and so forth. Okay, this is the last steel, and then you'll end with one more fiber. Next up, we'll just kind of oil up the ends of the push rod here. Get that push rod back installed into the bike. Don't forget your ball bearing. Put that in there, and then you just got the push rod holder assembly right here that you'll put right on top. Next up, we got the pressure plate. Like I said, we're gonna be lining up the dot, the timing dot on the pressure plate with the mark on the inner hub that I already marked. So we'll line that there. We've got our fresh clutch springs that came with the Hinson set. And then we'll just use the OEM screws. These screws will be long enough to be able to start the first few threads in that inner hub. You won't need to compress the springs at all. Now I will go ahead and use a T-handle to get these screws installed first. I'm just gonna get them snug down in a crisscross pattern here. And finally, we'll just get them torqued down. You can just hold it down with your hand. That should be enough pressure. And we'll get them torqued down in a crisscross pattern to 87 inch-pounds. Last thing what I'll do here is to make sure everything's working properly, I'll just flop over and grab that clutch handle and squeeze in that clutch to make sure everything is working properly. So I'm squeezing in the handle and you can see how the pressure plate is popping out. Everything seems to be in working order there. So one, we're just checking to make sure it works, and then two, a worn out clutch pack is gonna have a lot more slack in a cable lever than would a brand new clutch pack in there, because obviously the fibers are a lot thicker and not worn down. If an adjustment is needed to be made and you want about an 1/8 inch of play in that lever, all that's left to do now, we're gonna wipe off the gasket surface here with some contact cleaner. Make sure there's no oil on it. And I've got a brand new Cometic gasket here going on, made in the USA. It's best to throw a brand new gasket on when you can. And then we've got the awesome Pro Circuit clutch cover to throw back on there. And remember, you're gonna use the 2 longer bolts. They're gonna go into the top spot locations. Throw those in there to make sure to kind of anchor everything first. And then you got the rest of the bolts. We've got some Racetech titanium on this bike here. Kind of gives it that factory look. And these bolts pretty much weigh half the weight of OEM bolts, plus they look sweet. So if you guys are interested in grabbing some Racetech titanium, you see some other bolts here for your bike, go to their website, and if you use the code HitchGoRT, you'll get 10% off your Racetech titanium order. I'll just use the T-handle to get everything snugged down in a crisscross pattern, and we'll go ahead and get these torqued down in a crisscross pattern again to 87 inch-pounds. The only thing left to do is fill it back up with oil. My go-to is the Maxima MTL 80 weight here. You're gonna fill this thing up to 1.3 liters. We did not take the filter out, so that's the number that we're gonna go by. If you did happen to replace the oil filter as well, just fill it up to 1.35 liters. Again, this is an 05 model, so make sure you check your owner's manual for the proper capacity based on your year. And final thing, guys, don't forget to put your brake pedal back on. But that's gonna be a wrap on this complete rebuild and clutch install on a KX250F. I've linked all the tools and products that I used in this how-to video in the description below, so you guys can check those out if need be. But if you did find value in the video and wanna leave me some feedback, hit the like button if you don't mind. Subscribe to the channel for more how-tos on these motorcycles. But that's a wrap on this one. And as always, ride hard, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.